All right, good morning. Today is August 22 of 2024, and let's go over yesterday's price action as well as um, outlook for today. So yesterday, my bullish, my bullish, my bias was bullish going into the morning time frame, and right off the morning. Sorry, I'm kind of out of focus today. So right off the morning analysis, I had noticed that price had already swept here, but here we had relative equal highs. We also had relative equal lows, relative equal lows. So what I wanted to see is I actually wanted to see one of these uh, lows or highs get swept. What I actually wanted to see was I wanted to see the lows get swept first, but obviously we did not do that. So right off the open, we noticed that price here on the 15-minute swept this low, this 15-minute low, into 1 hour gap. And here on ES, price didn't. It actually only reached right above this sweep here, and so that to me was SMT. Once I noticed this SMT, let's go ahead and switch over to the 5-minute real quick. Right, once I noticed this SMT here where price did not sweep this low and price did here on ES, on NQ, I began looking for an entry. This right here, this swing low, swing high, swing low, is a mitigation block. And again, once I noticed that, I began to look for an entry, because if price was still bullish, then price would hold above this order block here. Okay, and the moment I realized that was when price actually held above, closed above this area here. It closed above this area. Not only that though, but this wick right here, this whole wick right here is basically a rebalance of this imbalance here, because here you have a big green candle, and the only thing you see is that so price only moved in one way, meaning that this right here was a busy buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. And with this candle, even though price traded all the way down to here, it rebalanced this imbalance here. And so once I noticed that, I began to look for an entry, and I was able to catch an entry here. Right off this imbalance, I actually entered right here, but obviously had to wait a few minutes more for price to draw higher. We did cover into 5639 because 5639 just happened to be a smaller time frame liquidity, right? Liquidity here, big imbalance here. Now again, I covered here because it was right off the open, and at the open, because we had relative equal lows, price could have easily gone back down, and that's exactly what happened after the initial sweep of that high. And then price obviously drew higher, did not actually sweep here, it actually swept here. And so when that happened, I began to look for a long again. This happened during the 12 o'clock macro. 12 o'clock macro came back for the 1400 macro, 1500, 1300. It consolidated, swept this low, and drew higher. Now, right when I came back, I actually didn't like this. I did not like this entry, because even though there was SMT between the 15-minute lows here, right here, I did not like it, because this imbalance, I mean, this displacement down here, to me meant that price maybe still had a ways to go. So I wasn't too comfortable taking that long trade that I wanted. What I actually wanted to see was, I wanted to see this low get swept, as well as this 15-minute high, 15-minute low here. So I wanted these two areas to get swept. Obviously to the upside it did. So this up move rebalanced this huge displacement, this huge imbalance here. So once price did that, I began to look for an entry, and obviously price swept here, price swept here as well. And if you look at the 15-minute right here, okay, 15-minute high, 15-minute low, price swept. Notice how here, once price swept this low, it kept on closing higher. and that doesn't really tell me anything. That just tells me the price wants to continue drawing higher, and obviously it did because of this huge imbalance here. And then once price came back down to rebalance these imbalances here, on the 15 minutes, there were actually three imbalances: one here, and one right here in the middle. Actually, here on NQ you only have this one and this one, but here you have one here, and here. Okay, so once price swept this low, I kept on just watching. I wanted to see how price would close. And on the first candle, obviously, price did close still above this right here. Same thing here. Price actually didn't sweep this low. So that kind of gave me SMT type of feelings, but that was a 315 macro. And when that happens after 315, after the 1500 macro, which is 1450 until 1510, I knew that maybe I had to wait until 1530. And so I just kept on watching and seeing how price would still close on the next one. On the next one, price swept it, completely rebalanced this imbalance, and even drew into this first imbalance down here. And the reason why I like this was because, as you can see here, price never actually drew into consequent encroachment and immediately reversed. That is a bullish sign. Same thing here. It actually did not touch 50% of the range either. Well, it actually did, because there's a tiny gap here, volume imbalance, but if you only use this low, it's right above it, as you can see. So either way, bullish sign, and price still closed above this sweep here. Price still closed above this sweep here. So going into the 1600 macro, actually, let's do the 5 minute first. Okay, so 1500 macro, what happened? Price immediately drew higher, and these two, this one right here, three 5 minute candles makes up a 15-minute candle. And as you can see here, price closed above this body here. You only want to see a close above this body here, to assume the price is going to draw higher. But obviously it closed above these two down close candles. That makes this an order block. All right, so once you see that, you wait for price to return into 50% of the range. Obviously here it did not, but here it did. As you can see right here, and you turtle soup entry this thing. You wait for price to draw you a swing high, swing low. Price retraces a little, draws down, draws into this area, and then draws higher. This gap was left open. Okay, that's a very bullish sign, and still closed above 50% of this gap here, and then price drew higher, and you cover into this area. Now, I was only in one contract, and I actually covered right after price swept this high here, because this high was left opened, as you can see here. And I wanted to go ahead and cover that because we were so close to 1600, and I just didn't want to deal with that. So a pretty good win on minis. On NQ, on ES, price did the same, but I did not see a sweep, a draw into 50% of the range. Here it did, so that's why this one to me was the safer one to take. Either one could have been good, but again, that was my place for yesterday. I had to wait a couple hours to finally get it, but I actually got it. So pretty good win for both the morning and the afternoon sessions. So now, so remember how I said this was displacement? This was displacement, left a huge imbalance here, and right up to this area, as you can see, price rebalanced this whole imbalance. So now we're looking at this range here. Currently on the 1 hour, this is the dealing range, and I like getting long on declining dealing ranges. Same thing here, declining dealing range. So I am looking to get along here because this area is now balanced. So during the Asia London session, what I would like to have seen is I would like to have seen just consolidation, really. Consolidation, And then what I want to see is I want to see a sweep into maybe this area here, and then I would like for price to draw higher after that. Same thing here. I would like to see a sweep, or maybe a sweep even up here, and then to complete the market maker buy model here. Bias is bullish because price did close above the previous day's high. Actually, not above the previous day's high, above the previous day's open, above the previous day's open. So now this candle becomes an order block. Although there is no gap here, as you can see. Okay, so right here, this is an order block because this area here, uh, there's a gap. So there's really no way I can. Oh, here we go, right here. Okay, so these two are real order blocks. As you can see here, price did, because it has an imbalance right above it. As you can see here, price did respect this momentarily for like 2 days and then drew lower. But again, this is a real order block because it has an imbalance within the order block or right above the order block. This could have been an imbalance too, but this order block here, this could have been an order block too, but with this imbalance here. But as you can see, this order block was nothing really. So again, today I'm still bullish because price did close above this, the body of this candle here. Price closed above the body of this candle here. So I would expect, I would be surprised if price did not continue drawing higher. And this remains still as my drawn liquidity for the weekly. We've already drawn above a couple of weekly highs, so I am mindful of that. Because at any moment price could just immediately draw lower, because as you can see here, we've had nothing but draw highs, higher closes, and none of these candles were swept. This is a healthy up move because here you had a sweep, 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 couple of sweeps here during this consolidation. Price drew higher, sweep here. So the fact that price kept on drawing higher makes logical sense. Here it doesn't. It really doesn't. On the lower time frames, you do see that, but even on the lower time frames, you see very few. So this to me is all generated liquidity, and eventually we're going to get that move down here. So again, even though my bias is still bullish, I am very mindful of the fact that there's really no logical sense to this price action. And if or when price does decide to start drawing down, it'll be like this, where people just start jumping off the window. And hopefully I'm ready for that. I was ready for the one here, was ready for the one here, so hopefully hopefully we see something. But again, we're still within this volume imbalance here, but again, this right here to me is the weekly drawn liquidity. So let's go ahead and connect to data and see where we stand right now. And I am watching, again, I am watching to see how this order block on the daily, yeah, I want to see how this order block on the daily, I want to see how price behaved in this area here. Same thing here. There is a 4-hour order block here. Not necessarily something I'm paying attention much to, because this order block down here is actually a lot more, a lot stronger than this one. But again, I just want to see it there. If I don't see nothing, yeah, if I don't see anything, no relevance or anything, then I'll just remove it. We do have a tiny opening gap here, but I don't feel comfortable using it. The only opening gap that I am comfortable using is this one right here. This opening gap and this opening gap. So we'll see. So again, there is a lot of support here. Same thing here. There is a lot of support here. So I want to see what price did here. But again, I would not be surprised if price just continued drawing higher. So we'll see. Let's go ahead and connect and see where price is at the current moment. Perfect. And we do have 0945 and 10 010 news. We also had 0830 news. So I do expect price to be very fluid today. And I only take a trade once I see clear structure. All right, so we have a draw higher. We literally just swept this high. We have a gap here, order block here. Actually, this order block here. So it does make logical sense that price is drawing higher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. One, there it is. Okay, so now this is a true order block. Why? Because, uh, crap, actually, never mind. I thought this was just a candle with no wicks. All right, so this is not an order block. Let's take a look at the 4-hour. Okay, so this one is more defined. Now this one I like because as you can see here, wick up to this order block here, gap, and then as you can see here, price rebalanced, completely rebalanced this area. Damn. All right, much better. So I'm not expecting for price to come back down here because this whole area is now rebalanced. This area is rebalanced. Um, this whole area is rebalanced. So balanced price range. Balanced price range here as well. Let's take a look at the 4-hour. Big order block here. So I won't know anything until 1400 if price wants to come back down here and touch this 4-hour. So I'm not gonna use this 4-hour. I will use the 1-hour. Um, and obviously this market maker buy model has been completed. So let's go ahead and do this. Right here. Right here. Okay, so I think today we're gonna get a day like this. So if we don't get an entry for the 10 o'clock macro, then maybe the 11, and all I'm looking for is continuation. So I will be looking at the 15 minutes, to see if we get an entry. We've already done and closed above this area, so I don't need to use this anymore. This volume imbalance, previous day high. I am going to leave it there because old highs, once price has traded above, tend to act as support. PH, beautiful. Yeah, today I am a little more careful with these. The only other play I could come up with is if price continues drawing higher, then the last hour tends to be the hour where the high is drawn. So I'll be able to catch a pretty good move there. I am positive of that. Um, let's take a look at the 15 minute. 15 minute has no sweeps, just a continued draw higher. Continue to draw higher. We did rebalance this whole imbalance here. Okay, I thought we swept this though for some reason. Okay, so we didn't sweep this though. Again, this whole area is already balanced, so I don't expect price to come back down here. Same thing here. I don't expect price to come back down here. So if it comes down to maybe 50% of the range, again, this whole area is already balanced. So I don't think price would like to. So I think today is one of those days where we get nothing but a trend day, and getting long at order blocks and imbalances is the right play. But again, I want to see a sweep of both sides first before price continues. Let's take a look at the 5 minute. On the tiny time frames, this is the current dealing range. And same thing here. Current time frame is the dealing range here. We have a tiny void here, and price just took off of this unicorn setup here. Same thing here, unicorn setup right here. Price swept this high. Okay, so same play as yesterday. Here, this is a unicorn setup, unicorn setup. So I want to see what price does here. If it just immediately draws higher, then no entry. And that's fine for now. Um, because what I would like to see is maybe something like this go after the 0930 open, which would be something like maybe high, and then we get some sort of retracement uh, here, and then we have displacement higher, and then we get the continued up move. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. But if price just continues to draw higher, then I'm not going to look at that. I want this to be the 0930 to 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, what's the word? Uh, Price action. Um, and then obviously at the 10 o'clock macro, I want this price to come down here so I can get long. So we'll see. Equal highs here. So right now what I am watching is I am watching the 15-minute to see if we get a sweep here. Same thing here. I want to see if we get a sweep here. I would like it on ES, but not on NQ to show me some sort of SMT. But again, a lot of news today, so I would expect for price to be very fluid. So on the 1 minute, I want to see price sweep this low here. Once price sweeps these lows, I want to see how price closes. I don't want to close like this, where after price swept, it closed like this. But obviously on the 5 minute, it closed up here, right? And even though it closed down here, right at this low here, it still closed above it. So those are the types of closes I want to see. Already saw that on the 5 minute here, but I want to see that on the 1 minute here. And if I get this entry, what I do want to see is I want to see a bearish order block get violated, gap, I mean, for me to get long. Right here. So I want to see this inversion here. Well, I want to see this gap here turn into an inversion where price closes above this area. So again, I want to see what happens here. As soon as price closes on the 1 minute, again, I want to see close like this, where price sweeps this low, closes above it. So we'll see. I would like for this candle to sweep here and then come back and actually sweep it, because here technically hasn't swept yet. So let's just leave that there. Oh, there you go. Okay, so now we have that sweep. Now I'm looking for the sweep of this low. And I'm no longer going to be trading on the 30-second. It's just retarded to be even doing it, because even though the last 30-second trades I've taken have worked out, it's just too much headache, because it increases my my number of trades per day, and I'm actually trying to make it more simple, where I wait on the 15 minutes to show me where it's likely to go, and then I'd like to get long. And then I'd like to enter, instead of watching the 1 minute and then entering on 30-second only to cover only a few points above that. I want to get the big moves. So yeah, no more 30-second, or at least I'll try. Okay, there you go. Okay, so we have that now. Again, I want to see a sweep. Come on. Okay, so here, that was the entry. No, I'm still gonna wait. I completely forgot about this. Let's see here. Okay. 50% of the range. Actually, it's down here. What the hell? All right, there you go, right here. There you go. Okay, so as you can see here, we have these lows and this low. So whichever low gets swept, I will like to most likely get in. This again is my target, so I don't want to see the high get swept just yet. This is my weekly objective on the draw and liquidity. All right. No, no, not yet, not yet. Yep, these equal lows. That's what I'm looking for. Jagged edges here, jagged edges. I don't like that this one's already drawn higher. Either one that draws into 50% of the range will be the right candidate. A couple more minutes. Well, on the yeah, ES just took the weekly objective. So let's see here. Okay. All right. So I'm in. '89. I want to see price close above the swing lows. All right. 78.75. I thought it was 89. 78.75. Yep, right there. Okay. Three more minutes. 3 more minutes. Again, I'm in right below this area at 78.75. My stop is below 64. I want to see continue to move. I would like it if price did close above this price range here, which it's looking like. So far so good. Two more minutes until the close. Again, I want to see price close above the sweeps. Okay, good. We're about to close here. Beautiful. 10 more seconds. I don't like this immediate rebalance here, so I'm just going to keep it. I would like it if price closed above this order block here, because that would make this a propulsion block. $74. All right, so I'm currently out on one. Four more minutes. I'm actually in on two contracts. Well, I wasn't on two contracts. I was in one here and another one I got in here. So now what I want to see is I want to see price draw higher. This right here is the order block that I was looking at. So if this candle closes above this candle here, then the next one, what I want to see is I want to see an immediate draw like this and like that. If that happens, then we're in business. I'm not going to move into the one. Let's take a look anyways. All right, so balanced price range, that's all I'm seeing. I do want to see a draw higher. You see how price closed here, good stuff. Couple more minutes. Two more minutes um, until the 9:45 news. I don't want to see price close below here like this, and I'm really not liking that. Ooh, okay, not liking that at all. I took one off already, so I'm comfortable with that. But again, I don't want to see price close below here. I want to see price close above these areas here. Even though this right here is the unicorn, again, bodies tell the story, wicks do the damage. 1 minute until the news open. $30. All right, come on. 15 seconds. This is gonna be pretty big one. All right, let me set my stop. I'm gonna set my stop. I'm gonna set a large stop right here. All right. I think I may get stopped, but I'm still watching. Come on, draw higher. I like where the open happened. The open is here, swept these lows here, so now I want to see a draw higher. 10 o'clock news is fine, but I want to see a continued up move. So you look at the 1 minute. Oh, come on, there you go. Okay, so we have sweep, unicorn set up here. Now my stop is here, 68.25. Let me set it now, that way I don't get stopped anymore. Okay, so my stop is set. And if I get stopped, that's fine. Still, I'll just have to come back later at a later time. And I'm out. Okay, that was it. I'd be highly surprised if it just goes on without me, because this candle right here is most likely, yep, there you go. Let's see how it closes. That's gonna suck because this whole area here is the breaker. Yep, that was it. Darn. Okay, well, let's just keep watching anyways. 10 o'clock macro. Had a good win with the first one. Second one got me stopped out. Gave back a little, but that's fine. Now I don't want to see price. I want to see price close above this right here because this right here turns into a order block. So I want to see price displace above this area here. Fifteen minute. All right, so 15 minute did close this tiny gap here, which is fine. All right, so we're starting to see some closes above this area here. I don't want to see any more wicks at the highs. I want to see flat tops. Let's take a look at the 5 minute. See how we're closing. All right. All right, so we're still in business. All right, let's take it again. I'm going to take it again. Right there. Okay, I'm in. All right, good. All right, so I'm back in. I like how this, even though this one closed, oh no, not again. All right, so once again, I like how after the price swept this low, this candle closed above it, this one didn't, and it's now drawing lower. Just peachy. Okay, so this could have been the, okay, all right, never mind. I still like it. So what I'm going to do is this right here. And now this becomes the propulsion block. And the reason I'm still in is because, as you can see here, price only barely punctured the high of this candle. Oh no, there it goes. I don't want it to go below here. If it does, then I gotta get out. All right, so I gotta get out. I'm just waiting for a quick retracement. All right, I'm out. All right. And now I bet it's gonna probably draw higher. All right, so we're within the macro now, which is fine. So now just watching to see what price does. Where am I at right now? Basically break even. So we might be expecting a sweep of these lows. So trade is not yet over. And wow. Okay. No sweep here, no sweep here. Now I'm watching for displacement. Still nothing. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this because it's not applicable anymore, because right here. This was the breaker I was looking at, but obviously it already broke below here, and if it closes above here, then it's still applicable, because again, wicks do the damage, bodies tell the story. I had my microphone off, but anyways, this is my entry here again, and now I want to see it draw higher. My stop is right here. And I'm out. Darn. Okay. All right. Quick ins and outs on the micros, but that's fine. With minis, I mean, with NQ it's micros. With ES it's minis. I still want to see how though. I really like this displacement higher. So it could be that it just might still draw higher. Let's take a look at the 5 minute. I'm using these two as SMT. Um, no, not that. This and this right here. But it might just be so that it's this and this right here. Let's take a look at, there's plenty of imbalances down here on the 15 minutes. So still not out of the realm of possibility for me. Today is Jackson Hole also, so that might be a reason as to why. But yeah, just keep watching. I'm not gonna zoom in just yet because I do want to see. We have SMT. This candle is what sold it to me. So that could have been where this became the order block, but nothing. And we have 5 minutes until the macro's over. I think we might be gearing up to get, because see, the down move is very lethargic. So that still leads me to believe that we're still bullish. ES is still good. But I'm going to go ahead and remain with my eyes on the 5 minute. That's depending on how this candle closes will give me it's still closing above extreme discount here as well, but I'm leading to believe that this may be the low that wants to be swept first, depending on this. Okay, yeah. See how this one closed? Now I want to see this candle completely sweep this low here. But if price draws higher, then this candle becomes the order block. Okay, so we finally got the sweep. So now if price wants to reverse, I'll begin to look for an entry. But what I do want to see first is I want to see price close above a 5-minute low. So whether it's this close here or here, I want to see either of the two. So just being patient right now. If this low gets swept, then that's it. No trade idea, and I have to wait until the 11 o'clock macro. Forgot to change this right here. Two more minutes. Let's go ahead and get rid of this here. Definitely got okay, so the 15-minute, I want to see price close above this area on ES, and on NQ I want to see a price close above this area here. And we just swept. Okay, all right. And we're seeing displacement. I still like the fact that we have a lethargic move here, but it does seem like we're gonna target lows here. SMT at the highs. That's what caused it. Okay, so that's it for today on the live stream. Good win with the first contract. Second contract had a loss. Third, same thing. Small red day, but I believe that the 11 o'clock macro will offer something better. Uh, just like, I forget what day it was. I think it was last month. Let's just take a look real quick. Last month. Actually, I always forget about YM. Let's take a look at YM. Here we go. YM has a lot of, yeah, YM definitely has displacement. Okay, I like this. All right, so now I'm bias is bearish now. Consolidation, manipulation, expansion. Okay, so I got this. All right, no worries. That's it for the day. I'll see you tomorrow. Again, I am looking to see what price does here. We do have this dealing range here that I'd like to see what happens. If price comes down here, then I'll be able to cash in on the second stage of distribution. If price reverses, then that's SMT right now, because on YM price already swept Asia and London low. So as it stands right now, we do have SMT at the lower time frames, but I want to see what price does here. I don't want to see any more of these candles. I want to see lethargic down moves. But if we keep on seeing these moves here, then I'll look for second stage right here actually. No, not this one. This one. Right here. All right, so I want to see how price closes here. If price closes below here, then I'll look for second stage and I'll be able to cash in on the move down here. Favorite types of plays, and I know I'll be able to cash it. All right, anyways, see you tomorrow.